Primary 5 Social Studies. My name is OTIM Solomon. In today's lesson, we are going to look at European traders. European traders is one of those subtopics under the topic of foreign influence in Uganda. I'd like you to quickly subscribe to our channel as we continue to understand more about European traders. In this lesson, we are going to learn about the type of trade that was introduced by European traders, and we shall also look at the British Trading Association, the company that was introduced in order to carry out trade in the East African region. We shall also look at the leaders, the people who formed this association that was focusing on trade in Uganda. We shall also look at the reasons why the association was formed. We shall look at the reasons why the association collapsed, and we shall look at why the association became bankrupt. Bankrupt. I request you to have your pen and your book so that you take your notes. But also, if you have any question, you can quickly go to our chat and then you can write to me. I will be able to read your comment and quickly respond to you. Okay. Now, when we say European traders, we remember that this is the third group of European or foreigners to come to Uganda. We started looking at the Arabs, we looked at the Indians, and now we are looking at Europeans. Okay? So, why do you think that the European traders came to Uganda? They came to Uganda basically to carry out trade. That will bring you another question. Which trade? We know Arabs as the traders that came to Uganda. They were the first traders. What has brought European traders to Uganda? You will find that these European traders came to Uganda and they introduced a special type of trade. And that type of trade was called legitimate trade. The word is legitimate. The word is spelled as L-E-G-I-T-I-M-A-T-E, legitimate. What is the meaning of this word legitimate? The word legitimate comes from the word legit or legal, something that is lawful, something that is not illegal. Okay? That means that this trade was a commercial relationship between Europeans and Africans. Soon after the abolition of slave trade, after the stopping of slave trade, there was this trade that was introduced by Europeans, and they named it legitimate trade from the word legal. So it means that legitimate trade replaced something that was not illegal. Something that was illegal was replaced by this trade, and that was slave trade. Slave trade at this time of the arrival of Europeans became a very nasty trade. It became unlawful trade. It was not good at all to see a fellow human being sold as a commodity, an item of trade. So Europeans then now begin to come in Uganda with another type of trade, and we have seen that the trade was called legitimate trade. It was a trade where African raw materials, especially cash crops, animal skins and hides, were exchanged with European goods. And what is amusing and what's amazing is that the very raw materials were taken from Africa, and then they will bring the finished goods from Europe to Africa. These cash crops included rubber, cotton, cocoa, and many other valuable crops that we had. So these crops were exchanged with the already made European goods, and that is a little about legitimate trade. So we have got these European traders, very prominent traders, who came in and introduced this legitimate trade. One of them is William Macnon. William Macnon. Learners, look at the spelling of the word Macnon. I mean, the name Macnon is spelled as M-A-C-K-I-N-N-O-N. Macnon. Okay? So William Macnon, as I said, was a British trader. Okay? This British trader came and decided to form an association in 1888. This association was called Imperial British East African Association. I want you to look at the key words in this association. Okay? The first one is Imperial. The second one is British East African Association. Okay? Take note of these letters. We have got I, we have got B, we have got EA, meaning East African, not East Africa, but East African. Okay? And then we have got another A to mean association. The first A means African. Then the second A is association. This association was basically formed in order to allow the British traders to get into the interior of East Africa, and that is Uganda, and that is Kenya, and that is Tanzania, and some parts of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Okay? So this association later on changed its name after getting a charter, after getting acceptance to operate. It became Imperial British East African Company. Okay? I want you to take note of that. It has changed from IBEAA. Why? Because it had got a charter. It had got permission. It had got support. Okay? So it became now IBEACO. Most teachers call it IBEACO. But for me, I would like to mention each letter so that learners are able to know that the first I represents Imperial, B represents British, EA represents East Africa, and then CO represents company. Okay? So this association was able to gain support from the British or from Europe, and to gain more other traders to come in East Africa to carry out trade. So these are the key points that I have annotated here for you. The first association was called Imperial British East African Association. That is the EAA. Okay? Allow me clean up this as we continue. And then after getting the charter, the association has become a company. And so it has become Imperial British East African Company. Okay, allow me clean up this and we move on. So when this association came into existence and it got a charter, it had its headquarters at Machakos in Kenya. Okay, that's where the headquarters of the company was. It's like starting a business, and you register your business, you get a trading license, and then you begin to have your office. So this is how William Macnon established IBEACO and established its headquarters at Machakos in Kenya. Okay, now after the trade has gained support, and we have another British businessman also coming in, and that is Captain Frederick Logan. Now this was also a British businessman, a British trader. Okay, for him, he was sent specially to Uganda and to represent the company, to represent the British trading company, and that was in 1890. Okay, he was sent to Uganda to represent the company. So he decided also to set a headquarter at Old Kampala. He built Fort Edward on Old Kampala Hill. Some of us who know Uganda very well, this Fort Edward is still existing in ruins and it attracts now tourists. It's no longer a headquarter of a British trading company called IBEACO, but it now stands on that hill at the Old Kampala Hill, and that is one of a very nice tourist attraction centers. If you're interested in coming to visit Uganda, you can come and visit the ruins of Fort Edward that is built on Old Kampala Hill. Okay, but it was the headquarters of a very big business company that existed in Uganda around 1890. So Captain Frederick Logan got Uganda that time when it had a lot of conflicts between the cultural leaders. So, in order to get support, Captain Frederick Logan decided to sign an agreement, a treaty, okay, with Kabaka Mwanga. That treaty would allow him to operate, to carry out business in Uganda as part of Uganda, but not as part of East Africa. Okay, that's what we call partition treaty, a treaty that divides some part of Uganda to be owned by Captain Frederick Logan so that he can carry out his business in that area. So because Kabaka Mwanga had got many enemies, he decided to accept this relationship, and then Captain Frederick Logan moves ahead to some part of Ankole Kingdom, and there he signed a friendship agreement with Mugabe. Mugabe is a title given to the cultural leader of Acholi Kingdom. Ankole Kingdom. When we say give the title given to the cultural leader of Ankole Kingdom, the title is Omugabe. By then, we had Omugabe called Ntare in this kingdom of Ankole. That was in 1890. So Lugard decided to go and bring together all these kings and chiefs who had disagreed with one another. The one for Buganda Kingdom, the one for Ankole Kingdom, the one for Toro Kingdom. He brought them together, and the purpose of this was to enlarge his business area, because you can never be an enemy with someone with whom you do business with. So Captain Frederick Logan went ahead and restored Omukama Kasangama of Toro to his throne, because during the time of the Arabs there was a very bad relationship between these chiefs and these kings. So Captain Frederick Logan decides to come and bring back Omukama Kasangama. Now when we say Omukama, that is another title of another king. Okay, I want to annotate this and let you know. This Omukama is a title given to the cultural leader or the king of Toro. Okay, by then the king of Toro was called Kasangama. Okay, so we have got here Mugabe. This is the title given to the king of Ankole. Okay, so this is the kingdom, and then this is the title given to the king. Right? So our friend Captain Lugard has done a lot of things in order to expand his trading area. He also went ahead and brought the Sudanese soldiers to Uganda. Okay? These Sudanese soldiers were basically brought to fight the Arab slave traders, so that the Arab slave traders do not come in and claim and riot and take away the Ugandans as slaves. Okay, so Lugard decides to bring the Sudanese soldiers to Uganda, basically to protect the people from the slave traders, so that they can be able to carry out crop growing, so that they can be able to carry out hunting of these animals for skins and hides, so that they can carry out farming of rubber and cocoa, so that a trade called legitimate trade can take place. I said legitimate trade is just a trade of items. These were basically cash crops, animal skins and hides, and these are the goods that were traded in that time. So the reason was that he wanted these Sudanese soldiers to help him fight wars to ensure stability and peace, especially in Buganda, the area that was fertile, the area that was productive for production of cotton, cocoa, and rubber. So he wanted to make sure that where his headquarters is built is very stable in order to carry out trade. Trade without peace cannot be successful. So in order to be successful in trade, there must be peace and stability. So Captain Frederick Logan, being a soldier, was able to ensure peace and stability in Buganda so that he would carry out his trade successfully. Okay, so let's continue. So we have looked at the business company called IBEACO, Imperial British East African Company. Why do you think that this company was formed? It was basically formed to promote trade in the mainland. When we say the mainland, we are meaning the interior of the East African coast. So in order to promote trade in this area, there was a need to establish a company that would run business activities in the mainland, but also to protect the British interest in Uganda. What was this British interest? The British interest in Uganda was trade. And in order to have that stability, there was need to form a company. We also have this very nice reason to stop slave trade, because slave trade was actually against legitimate trade in one way or the other, because able-bodied Ugandans who would carry out agriculture, crop growing, hunting of these animals were being taken away by the Arab slave traders. So in order to make sure that the business is successful, there was a need to stop another business that was conflicting with the other business of the British. So, in order to develop communication and transport, there was a need to establish a company. And so, IBEACO was established or was formed to develop that communication and transport network in Uganda and the coast. Okay? Another one was to promote peace and security. I talked about this in my explanation that without peace and stability, trade is not successful. So Frederick Logan, being a soldier who knew very well that without peace, trade cannot take place, he had to form IBEACO, and that was in order to promote peace and security. Okay, this IBEACO has collapsed. Why has it collapsed? It is simply collapsed because it became bankrupt. The word bankrupt means shortage or completely lack of money to run a company. When your company is declared bankrupt, it means that you don't have enough money to run that particular company. So, IBEACO became bankrupt because of the following reasons. One, it lacked reliable and potential source of income. The income that IBEACO was getting was basically from trade. Okay? So it also got involved in political administration, which was costly. Political administration now comes in because the company needed support from the political part. There was need to get the kings and the chiefs in order to promote this trade. So that political involvement of IBEACO consumed all the money that IBEACO had, and that made it to run bankrupt. Okay? So IBEACO becomes bankrupt. Okay? We had got the territory that was controlled by IBEACO. When we say a territory, we are meaning an area that was controlled by IBEACO. Remember, as I told you, IBEACO has got good relationship with Ankole. IBEACO has become a friend of Sudan. IBEACO has become a friend of Buganda. IBEACO has become a friend of Toro. These are all very big kingdoms of that time. So the territory, that area, became too large to be maintained by IBEACO. So the costs of operation of the company became very high, and that made it bankrupt. But also, it employed many people, and these people needed big pay. Okay? Most of the British that came in to support the company needed big pay, and so it became bankrupt. Okay? I want us to look at this very special part here. In this special part, my boys and girls, I would like you to go to our Google Forms. We have a link that is in the description of our video on YouTube. We have a link right there in the description of our video. That link will take you direct to the exercise. And immediately you start answering that exercise, I will be able to get it. But if you are new and you don't know our Google Classroom code, this is an opportunity for you. Take note, take this down, write this classroom code, and then you'll go to Google Classroom. There you will get our Google form and you will be able to do this exercise. I want to get connected with you children so that now we shall continue to learn even when you are at home. Okay, so go to the Google Classroom, enter this class code, and you will get the assignment that will be able to evaluate your performance as we learn about European traders. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you all for watching this video, and I request you to subscribe to our channel and then continue to watch videos. Also, get to your Google Classroom. The code is there in your screen. Copy that code and then you will be able to go to the classroom and attempt the activity that I have given to you. When we meet, we shall be continuing from this very lesson, and our next lesson we shall be looking at administrators, the coming of administrators that will bring us to colonialism in Uganda. I would like to thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Keep following this very channel. I will be giving you more about social studies in primary 5. Thank you very much. God bless you.